Potato. It's right there. We got Bud the Spud here, of course. What's going on, Mean Street Mopar? How was your happy Memorial Day? I'll be saying that throughout the entire stream because in memory of all the people who made the ultimate sacrifice. What is happening this Memorial Day? I didn't do anything. Kept a few chores. Did a bunch of yard work and stuff yesterday, and burned the big old wood pile that we got from working on our bathroom. Oh, what year? I'm thinking 1812. Thinking 1812, Damien. There's a pair of lakes by us, and a man by the last name. Well, I won't say his last name, but a man came here in the 1800s, and what's going on, Ice Spider? And he was a preacher, and he brought religion to the Native Americans, and they were so appreciative for being given religion that they gave him 2 lakes. And where his house is overlooks the one lake of his namesake. And of all things, the graveyard is in the front yard of the house. So he's laid there, his wife's laid there, his son, so on and so forth. There's like 3 generations that are laid in the front yard. You walk up the sidewalk to the front door, and on your left are their graves. And the pastor also fought in the War of 1812. So he has a decoration on his headstone that depicts something War of 1812. So that's pretty cool. What's up, Fight? Yeah, the one lake is got public access and is actually pretty busy. And there's one that it's not connected, but it's right smack dab next to it. It's a short walk from one to the other. And that one is absolutely private, and there's no boat launch, and it's really cool. As a matter of fact, on that particular lake, the last time people register their boats is when they move into the lake. So you'll go out on that particular lake and see all the boats, and all their boat registrations are, one's 92, one's 89. It was the last time they had that boat registered legally. They don't do it because no one's there to check them, so it's a private lake. What are you gonna do? Side by side just went by. Seen a ton of those today. I missed the parade. I usually film the parade. It goes, the fire department puts it on, and they go right past my house, going north, and I completely missed it today. So that's my bad. Because it's a nice parade. Everybody throws in. Ooh. Do. Went and did something actually pretty cool on Saturday. Got up early, and then me and you missed 5 minutes. Come on, Danster. What's going on, man? Come on. We all got start time here, bud. So Saturday, got up early, went with my friend Alex from Hubert's Projects, and we went to probably 3/4 of the way across the state. Actually, we stopped off and we got a Dodge concept car poster for a friend of Alex's. And it's the car that they used in the movie The Wraith. That real smooth looking Chrysler concept car, which was 4-cylinder powered, turbo 2.5, I believe, and was mid-engine. It was a cool looking car. So we got that poster, and then that was in Westland, I want to say. And then we went over by the airport in the greater Detroit area, and then stopped at a friend's place, and he is big in Jurassic Park stuff. He takes Jeeps and he builds them. He actually is part of what they call the Jurassic Park Motor Pool. And they actually take vehicles that are correct, year, make, model, and turn them into Jurassic Park vehicles. And he has a Jurassic Park Explorer that it's gone through 8 different owners, and all 8 owners, it was a Jurassic Park Explorer, and they all intended to put that glass domed roof on it. You know, the one where the dinosaur punches through and the kids are in the back going, ah! So they all wanted to do it. Well, this guy, Triumph by Air, he did it. He bought it was spendy too. He got the fiberglass piece. He got the panoramic dome glass for it. And Saturday, we cut the panel out of the roof and we attached that panoramic roof to it. It looked great. It went swimmingly. It was a lot of work. We were at it for like 4 hours, but Alex and Triumph by Air were UP, what's happening? 777. And they're working on cutting the roof out, and I was working on the glass, the plexiglass dome, and I had to mask it all off because we put down a frit band on that stuff just to block the ultraviolet light. It'll help the glue last a lot longer. I've been learning a lot doing glass stuff with my friend Alex, and which is pretty cool. And yeah, it was actually really good. And so we're probably 3/4 of the way through the project, and Triumph by Air says, you know what, guys, I feel like some pizza. Got this great little pizza place about a mile down the road from me. We're going to get the PBR pizza, pickle, bacon, ranch. And we both kind of go, and he goes, guys, trust me, it's good. This is my favorite. All right. It was good, y'all. It was really good. And I mean, it was like 15 minutes. He headed out for the pizza. And like a mile away, that thing was insanely hot and it was tasty. So after we got the roof all figured out on Triumph by Air's Explorer, then Triumph by Air jumped in his ride, and Alex and I got in his ride, and then we all drove out together to go visit to the greater Detroit area to visit 6%, where I dropped off the 383 block that I was going to give him, and then I bought a 727 from him, and there it is. So I picked up a 727. I got rid of a 383 block Chrysler, and then came home. Lady Dougster made us brownies for the trip too. They were triple chocolate Hershey's brownies. Those things were good. The night before, she goes, think you guys want some brownies to take on the road with you? And I'm like, yes. It was a fun day. We spent the whole day gone. And yeah, I think we left here. I think we were on the road by 6:30-ish. And then we got back to no. Just regular brownies. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need to be all stoned up and driving. You know, it was 5 hours of windshield time when it was all said and done. Yeah, yeah. There's no brownie, and you need to go find a safe space, bud. No, no, no. Regular brownies. Uh, yeah, we got home finally. I want to say it was after dark because it was like 9:30 ish, but it was an epic day. The job at Triumph by Airs, it was a big job, but all of us were busy and it just went so nice, smooth, and swimmingly. And we weren't really busting butt, but at the same note, we weren't, slacking off. And it just went unbelievably smooth. So I was very happy on on our how well it went and our results at the end. It looked almost professional. Actually, that's thanks to my friend Alex. I'm serious. I think that my friend could probably do ASMR videos on just taking in and out windshields. It is so satisfying to watch him work. It really is. He's got this power glue gun, and the adhesives that he uses, he actually has this warming box that you shove the glue tubes in and they get hot. And I mean, I knew they were warmed, but I didn't realize how warm they really were until he turns to me and he goes, "Go get me," because he's got them numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes, "Grab me number 2 and grab me number 3." Okay. And I grabbed 2 of them. He goes, "Careful, they're hot." And I'm like, "Ah, yeah, 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 they're hot." I grabbed them out there and I was like, "Oh, wow, they're hot." They were hotter than I thought they would be. But yeah, he's got that warm glue. He's got a power uh, uh, caulk gun, and then he cuts his tips in a certain way. So when he lays his glue bead down on the glass, it's this real thin, tall. It's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall, but it's a 1/4 inch wide, if that. This little triangle bead that he lays all the way around, like this little wall, like a little fortress all the way around the glass. And it looks, God, just that alone, he's so deliberate. He's done it 1,000 times, and it's just so smooth and looks like a machine did it. Oh, impressive. The Bakelite tool. Yeah. Yeah, my friend Alex was doing auto glass. Well, his dad did it as a business, and he worked for his dad for a long time. And so, right out of high school, and fast forward to his 30s, he did auto glass. And then things happened, and the business went out, and so now Alex works in other realms. But how do you? Everyone needs a windshield done, so he's still in demand. Or not to mention, hey, I can do auto glass for you. Yeah, you're the guy I need to talk to. All I've ever done is removed windshields for people, like or for myself, like the day that we scrapped that 71 Dodge Travco motorhome. Everyone else is in the interior ripping out the interior, what's left of the interior. It was effed to begin with, but they're inside gutting what's left of the interior. I'm on the outside pulling the glass, and that was actually a job within itself. And I had this big metal staircase thing that made my job so much nicer, and just had to go up and I cut the gasket out of each one and put the window inside, turn it and pull it out. And yeah, I couldn't believe, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, There's probably 20 pieces of glass in that RV. The windshield was cool. And I pulled all the glass out of that, and I didn't break a panel. Even the big ass windshield pieces, I didn't break a piece of it. And the windshield was 4 or 5 pieces. No. It was actually, this is a big RV. The Travco basically looked like a Tylenol pill. This is a big RV. Lady Dougster says hi. She come out to have a smoke. And there's my dog Ruby. You can hear her walking out to get her ball. Yeah, this is bigger. This is the bigger one. Before I had executed the Travco, a friend of mine had a Winnebago Chief with a 440 in it in low miles. And I went and talked to Ron about it, and what do you want for the Travco or the Winnebago? I'd like $2,000 for it. I go, $2,000 is a lot to pay for something I'm going to throw the body away on. And he goes, well, once you pay me for it, you can do whatever you want to it. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to go take a look at it. He goes, it needs tires. It needs a set of tires. I'm not going to lie. That's why it's $2,000. All right. And it looked okay. I've seen a lot of them that look okay from the exterior, and then you get inside and you're like, oh my God. And that was what mine was. Mine had a small fire in it. And then the interior was just, oh my God. People lived in it. People partied hard in it. Yeah, it had led a rough life. Yeah, but 440. But so I go look at this Chief, and I get inside of it. Guys, it was amazing inside. It was clean. It was tight. It was nice. It was dated. You know, had a lot of that browns and avocado greens and, you know, colors of the 70s. But everything was well kept and nice, and everything functioned. And yeah, I mean, 3 minutes inside, and I'm like, I can't destroy this. This is too nice. Like, literally, like a little bit of maintenance and a set of tires, and let's go RVing, kids. Come on, let's go. You ever been to Yosemite? Me neither. It was way too nice. Way too nice. A deal, seriously speaking, a deal at $2,000. Yeah. He goes, runs, drives, stops. They took it every year to the fair and left it at the fair for 2 weeks and lived out of it. And it's like, yeah. My friend, I'm walking through it. My friend steps up inside. He goes, well, gonna buy it, mark for death. And we talked about it coming down. I'm gonna make him an offer on that Chief, and yeah. And I said, absolutely not. I go, look at it. It's so nice. It's a shame to hurt it. And yeah, he agreed. It ended up going to a church. They were going to go take parishioners down somewhere and spread the word of the Lord. Hey, good for you. Ron's like, I don't care what you do with it. As long as you pay me what I want for it. Ron also had a 1970 Cutlass station wagon in black. And it was his son's car. And it was always parked off in the weeds. And yeah, it had a Olds 350 in it. And it was a good looking car. It wasn't a Vista Cruiser. It was a regular roof. So it was just a Cutlass. But that was a good looking car. And of course, old Dougster likes station wagons. So every year, because once a year on Labor Day, I would go down to Ron's property. And then as you pull in and go out on the back of Ron's property, Ron used to have like 150 or 200 acres. It was insane. We go way out on the back of Ron's property, and then you had to go through the yard and to the back trail, and then you drive right past the barn, and right next to that was the Oldsmobile. And I'm like, there's the Olds. Oh yeah, brown with wood grain. Yeah, this one was just a cutlass wagon, flat roof cutlass wagon. But yeah, it made my heart go pitter pat. And then so I told my friend about it, and my friend, he's like, oh man, you know what you got? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I don't own it. He goes, you need to get that car. He goes, look, and he digs through. He's an automotive, enthusiast like the rest of us, but he's real big on racing. And he's like, look, and he pulls out pictures that he's got of Hearst Olds made station wagons, station wagon IndyCar, pace car, for ambulance and press. And then he shows me the ambulance, which is a Vista. And I go, but it's got the same front end as that. And I go, yeah, but it's a Vista. This is a flat roof. And he goes, wait. And he's searching through his file, and he pulls out a picture. There you go. And he shows me the press car. And it's another station wagon in the Hearst Olds, white and gold, and it lettered the whole door. And it says on the fender, press car. And it was a regular roof, cutlass wagon. He goes, you need to build it like that, which would have been cool as frig. I would have been happy just having a, yeah, exactly, a W30 ambulance. Yeah, with the reflective C-stripe that they got and the Indy pace car lettering in white. Oh man, that would turn some heads. And my lady Dougster, I showed her a picture of one, and she goes, looks like an expensive POS to me. Hi, Kim. How are you? Oh, yeah. I would have stuffed a 455 rocket in that thing and put a light interior in it. And, yeah, I would have had fun with it. Or I would have left it black and made it a 442, put all the 442 goodies on it. I talked to Ron about it, and it was his son's, and his son didn't want to get rid of it, that kind of thing. And after a while, I just gave up on it, and then eventually it disappeared. But yeah, every year I'd go by, there's the Cutlass. There's the Cutlass. Sat in the garage for a long time, needed a wheel cylinder. Still jacked up. Never got the wheel cylinder. Then they just put the drum brake on, never put the wheel cylinder on it, and pushed it off in the weeds. That's when I'm like, what are you doing with that, bud? Hey, Ron used to do bird hunts on his property, pheasants, and then chuckers, which are Australian pheasants. And instead, a pheasant's going to have a 18-inch wingspan. Well, the chucker only has a 6. So it's like a mini pheasant. And he would do hunts on his property. And they're like, well, what does a hunt cost? And he always would tell you the same story. He goes, how fancy of a hunt do you want? He goes, I can do a stripped down bare bones, I bring birds, and then you guys show up, and then we go hunt and have some fun for the day here on the property. From that all the way up to, he's had men fly in from the West Coast, and he is putting them up for the night. He's feeding them. He's supplying them with lead propulsion devices and lead to propel. And so basically, like an actual lodge kind of thing. So, from that minimum all the way up to the sky's the limit. If you pay me to do it, I'll do it for you. Just about. Yeah, you did a real nice job. Would train dogs like no one's business. He could get you a bird dog that was just the absolute best. He was so good at it. I don't get to see those guys. And propellant powder, yes. Well, these are the modern styles, so they're not muzzle loaders. But right, supplying the propellant powder. Now in the fall around Labor Day, it's before bird season starts. And then all the guys that Ron would rub elbows with, it's all the season starts in October. So this is September, late September, and Labor Day. So a lot of his friends want to get their dogs doing the thing, so they're not coming into the season on the first real hunt cold. So what they would do is, to us living history guys, he would have a rendezvous on Ron's property, and then if we wanted to shoot or wanted to propel lead at the chuckers, we literally did it for the price of the birds. So whatever a lot of birds costed was what we paid. And everyone, all the bird hunting guys would come and they'd hang out with us and we'd have ourselves a time. But they would, for free, run their dogs with us. And it was just great. And we ended up having to, because we all use muzzle loading lead propulsion devices, we would more or less stand in a line to fling lead. So when the bird comes up, because all of us only have, unless you have a double-barreled lead propulsion device, you've only got one chance and one chance only, and then it's reload. So that was absolutely insane. It was so nice to have all these great guys there, masters of the trade, with their dogs. And just basically, they were just as excited to help us as we were to, try to give those guys a few bucks for their time, or at least a cold beer. They'd take the cold beer, but they wouldn't take your money. Like the one guy, he bent over backwards for us on a particular hunt, and we tried to flip him some cash as a tip because he really went above and beyond. And he's like, nope, this is all for Ron. Nope, I'm a friend of Ron's. I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Give it to Ron. So that was pretty cool. But Ron ended up having to sell a pretty good chunk of his property a few years back. And then the Rendezvous Club that I was part of disbanded, and then they ended up relinquishing their lease on that property, and then so all that died a few years ago, unfortunately. So I used it for like 15 years. That was what I did every Labor Day. Could he teach a dog to shoot? No, but knowing as crafty as Ron is, I'm surprised he didn't have one. Internalizing really complicated situational events in my head. Do you continue watching the Motor Regression Marathon, or do I hang out with Mr. Dugginator? Am I a traitor? Kind of day. What I do is called Living History, and what it is we represent the fur trade, 1800 to 1840, and we look the part, we dress the part, we camp the part. If you were to walk into my camp and look at my camp, as long as the vehicles are all parked away and everything, if you looked at my camp, it looks like how they camped in 1800, we'll say 1825. And but hidden in my camp, I have a cooler beer in it, just like everyone else, and I have a cooler with food in it, just like everyone else. But it's those two wooden boxes that you see off to the left. They look like wooden crates. You flip one open and it's a cooler. So we hide it. We've got the modern stuff, but it's hidden. And then a lot of the rendezvous camps that I go to, they actually want a picture of you in your garb clothes in front of your camp, and they look at the picture. Okay, they can come, because some people are so about how period correct you are. But a lot of the guys that I ran with, if you're trying and you improve, then you can hang out with us. We'll let that cooler go. But in the future, try to disguise it, because it's really interesting how expensive it is to look like you're poor. But a lot of it's good handmade stuff too. Like all of my lodge stakes are actually forged by a blacksmith who actually does it the old school way, and actually has a canvas bellows hanging from the ceiling, and he is hand pumping it to fire his forge, like the cool stuff. I made my own fire iron set, the bars that go across the fire. I made my own fire iron set. I did that just with a wood fire and beat everything around a pipe and stuff, and made the eyelets and all that stuff. And then I actually had a blacksmith make me a coffee pot swinger, and it looks like it's made of iron about the width of my pinky, and on one side it looks like a big lollipop, like a 6 or an 8-inch lollipop, and then it has a little 4-inch straight piece, and then it has like a wine cork puller on the other side. Well, that actually slips over one of the upright pieces and it sits cantilever. So if I don't drink coffee, but if there's coffee drinkers in my camp, I can make coffee. It's just a little percolator and a little enamelware coffee pot, but I can swing that in and out and raise it high and low depending on how my fire is, or if I want coffee's on, or no, it's lunchtime, nobody's drinking coffee anymore. Oh, and is No Name Nationals. It is a little drag race that we all go to down in Sikeston, Missouri, where it's just it's at a drag strip, and you bring your cars, and you have to have 500 subscribers to race, and then it's a good time. A lot of like-minded gearhead people show up there, and it's really neat because you're at a event where you already know all of the racers. You know of the cars. You know all of their trials and tribulations that they've had in the past year to get to No Name Nationals. And they know you, and it's really interesting. Yes, real cars. Absolutely. Yeah. And everything from absolutely slow cars all the way up to some guys bring some really hot competitive stuff. So it's so cool. Like one guy, Slant Daily Garage, he brings his car, the Cookie Monster, which is this beautiful car, this beautiful dart. You get the whole year of content to learn about their projects. Exactly. And you know that they just stabbed that engine in a week and a half ago, and they know nothing about it, but they're still going to come and race and send it. So, it's like, here we go. No, real cars. This is the real deal. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, they welcome it. Yeah, you just meet it's been described as a family reunion that a drag race breaks out at. I mean, everyone's just so happy to see you, meet you, shake your hand, talk to you, and people that you've only seen, on YouTube, all of a sudden are there. Or somebody walks by you and they speak and you're like, I know that voice. That's so and so. All right. I'm going to take care of my empty. Be right back. I'm back. Did you miss me? I know you did. No, Dean. You know what happened the last time you assumed control, okay? And yeah, we don't have that many saddles, jumper cables, and motor oil. So no, Dean, you can't assume control. Remember what happened last time. Chairs. Hey, a chair's working as my temporary workbench for my 727. Got some other goodies here for it. I got a filter and a shift kit in it, but I got a El Cheapo deep sump transmission pan, and I need to get the filter spacer so I can space the filter down so it picks up better. Then, oh, I think I was in the pan. The baggie just opened, but I've also got a cope shift kit to install also. Shift pack, I believe it's called. CRT shift pack. And a gasket. So this was, I bought it used for 20 bucks. It's a Speedmaster, but it's got a drain. So heck yeah. And it's deep sump. Paid 20 bucks for it. And then the guy pulled it off because it leaked. Okay. So I remember that. I've had that for probably 5 years. And Justin, hey, how's it going? And so it leaked, huh? So I take the pan and I sight down the pan rail, and lo and behold, the bolts on it were tightened down so hard that they're all kicked up where the bolts are. So it just makes that flange look like that. So I massaged it all down with a hammer and got it a lot better. So it might still leak. Yeah, I'm probably going to get that spacer and the bolts direct from Cope Racing Transmission. So I hope to have the, yeah, and I need to come see you. Well, A, because we need to hang out, and A, we need to hang out, and B, I want to come get that diff cover and the lockup 727 parts for my big 727. This one, if it ends up being okay, all I want to do is throw a shift kit in it, throw a deep pan on it in the extension, and a truck dipstick tube, and I've got a used converter that I hope is 2500 stall converter, and if it ain't all rusted up inside, I'm just going to send it. And whatever it is whatever it is. If it runs, great. If it don't, great. I don't care. But that's what I'm going to throw in the truck behind the 413, which is right there. And then I hope to get the 413 together. My goal is to make Shop Truck drive this year. So if I can just limp around on that automatic, just lot drive it, win. Don't get it right, get it running. So I brought Shop Truck back home from the satellite garage to last fall. And Lady Dougster has a bunch of bird feeders in the backyard. Didn't think anything of it. I never put a steering wheel back in the truck. I have it. It's just not installed. It's actually sitting on its steering wheel in the cab of Shop Truck. The dadgum birds got up underneath the front clip, and they perched all underneath the front clip and pooped all over the place, which was actually fine by me. But then those damn birds got in that hole that's like that big for the flippin' steering wheel, and they sat inside the interior and they crapped all over the place. It looks like seagulls are inside my blessed truck. I went to go get something out of it. I'm like on the passenger door, and there's like, how did a bird turd get on the passenger armrest? Then I went over to the driver's side and went, oh no. Yeah, it's bad. So I got that blocked off last night. So yeah, that made me really happy. It's my own fault. At least they're not nesting in it, but they were hanging out in it. Oh yeah. You're on top of the pop fridge and beer fridge, but I'm going to drink pop instead. So did anyone do anything really cool this weekend? Or just have a ho-hum weekend, kind of like what I did? I did all the cool stuff on Saturday. Other than that, haven't done much anything. A little pillory. Well, no, take that back. Yesterday was really productive. We cleaned up a lot of the mess in the front yard from when the tree fell down. We picked up all the sticks and everything and took them to the back fire pit. And then we ended up burning all of the stuff that we tore out of the bathroom. And finally got that all gone. So I'm a happy guy. One of the branches on that tree fell down and like poked a big hole in the earth. And I said, I'm just going to go over to the power line trail and get a couple scoops of dirt out of there, bring it over and start filling in that hole. And Lady Dougster goes, well, we've got that potting soil that I've had for years that's still in the bag that we've never used. Why don't you just use that? Okay. So there were 40-pound bags. Yeah. I must have put 130 pounds of dirt in that hole. And she's tamping it down and everything. But yeah, I brought the sacks over and I used up all of it. And it fit. Yeah, it was like 130 pounds of dirt, of black dirt to fill that hole. It's like, wow. I was actually surprised. I didn't think it was going to take a bag. Boy, was I wrong. About the size of a bag of dog food, small bag of dog food. Yeah, it's a Monday. At least it's a Monday, at least here in America. It's a Monday you don't have to work. 3-day weekend. Oh, and I did work on the 727 yesterday. We moved it around. I got it on that chair, and then I scraped a lot of the schmoo off of the case last night. Got everything, starting to clean everything up so I can crack it open and look inside. See if I'm even going to use that one or if I got to use my other one. because my other one is completely smoked, but a rebuildable core. And I was hoping that this one will actually do something. So maybe I can throw it together as cheaply as possible. Just making sure the chat ain't died. Because now we've got potato power. So long as we got potato power, we're good. So usually in June, late June, would be the vintage motorcycle show at the Gilmore Museum, which isn't really that far away from where I live. One of my favorite places to be. And that isn't going to be until a week before No Name Nationals. So I'll be doing the vintage cycle show there and then turning right, vintage cycle weekend there and then turning right around. Then the following week we'll be going down for No Name. So that's going to be cool. Be busy. And then they got a lot of great themed shows at the Gilmore. And besides the vintage cycle show, last year, for the first year, they had a cap on it of like 100 cc's and smaller. And they actually did some drag racing. They let the guys run like 300 feet and drag race their little bikes. And that had a huge turnout. Guys really liked that. I didn't get to watch it, but I would like to have scoped that out. Basically, just, dice it up a little bit. And then also for the past few years, they bring out a bunch of stunt riders from a local dealership, and they come out and put on a smoke show with the burnouts and the little acts of skill and the stoppies and the wheelies and all that neat stuff. They actually are doing a lot more, which is cool. But also they do other theme shows. Like they have an orphan car show, I think, like the orphan brands like Hudson and Studebaker and Overland and stuff like that. They also do Mad Dogs and Englishmen, which is all English cars. That's a cool show. And they actually race on the racetrack. And they have like I think it's a half-mile oval, or maybe it's a mile oval. But they actually race a slalom course on the oval. And it's actually really cool. Guy, Triumph by Era, who I was talking about earlier, he enters that with a Triumph Spitfire that he calls the shoot and get, but it, poop and get. And he hangs it out there, man. And he also has another another Triumph that they call the Shagwire, and it's painted like you'd think the Shagwire would be. Yeah, baby. And yeah, that's actually a really good time. I'm always go for the Jensen Interceptors. All the great late 60s, early 70s English rock drummers, all the greats, had one strange thing in common. They all owned Jensen Interceptors at one time. It's a hell of a car. Do. Can somebody give me a potato? Because I think the chat died. And I'm clicked on to all chat, so I'm not getting restricted messages. Yep, all messages. I'm not seeing a potato. Something might have went haywire. So yeah, for I won't have anything to look forward to in June. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll go out one night. That's what I should do. Is take you guys with me. We'll go to the races somewhere. Yeah, there's enough tracks around here between roundy rounds and road courses and drag strips and dirt, asphalt. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Because actually, the closest circle track to me is the Kalamazoo Speedway, world's fastest 3/8 mile. And it's just a little itty bitty donut. And those guys rip it. The late models run that thing at like over 100 mile an hour. On the program, they actually tell you seconds to MPH conversion tables printed right on the program. So you know if he turns in this time, he's going at this speed. And yeah, they're hovering. They all hover around the 90s, and some spill over into the hundred and somethings. And even though it's a bowl, it's a perfect circle, they still run it as an oval. It's really interesting to watch them run. So yeah, I'll probably do a episode from the Kalamazoo Speedway, and then the big Speedway. Well, the most popular one is Berlin, which is in Marne, Michigan, which is northwest of me, and that's where Johnny Benson Jr. raced and cut his teeth, and then moved on to NASCAR, and then all the other racing that he's done. He's from where I'm from. His dad was John Benson Sr., who raced Indy cars in the 60s. I remember watching old IndyCar races on Speed Channel and seeing John Benson Sr. racing. He used to drive a white car. So that was actually pretty cool. And went on to run a speed equipment outfit out of there also. And but Berlin Raceway is one of the bigger, more popular tracks. So would be nice to go out there. I haven't been to Berlin in a few years. We have dirt tracks over by well, actually not that far away from Dutch in Portland. There's the I-90 Speedway, and that's dirt. And so we could go watch a bunch of dust being put in the air for an evening. So we've got options, is what I'm saying. And plus, there's M40 Speedway, there's Galesburg Speedway, there's M40s in Pawpaw, Galesburg's in Galesburg, which is a stretch away. I think they run figure eights there too, which is cool. Figure eight racing is cool. The ones I can think of just off the top of my head. Oh, there's Northern Dragway up by Muskegon Way, and then which I've never been to. I just learned of it, so maybe that'd be a good excuse to go way up north. And then there's Mid Michigan Motorplex in Stanton, which is up here. And that's an interesting track. You race into the sun. You're racing west. So imagine the evening sun blinding you as you're trying to rip down the track. Yeah, no thanks. Okay, our chat has, at least on my end, has died. Colleen, could you shoot me a text telling me if you guys can hear me and if I have to restart or not? We might be experiencing technical difficulties. Well, it's looking like I might have to restart to get my chat back, which has kind of been the norm. Last week we ran all the way through with no issues. Well, all good. Okay, can hear me? Okay. Yeah, I just lost the chat. Okay, so let's see. Chat filter. I already tried switching to live chat. There. There. Oh, look at all that. Hey. All right. I figured it out. We averted crisis. Thank you to Dutch and Colleen for the for everything. Great. We got it back. We didn't have to restart. All right. So now I got to comb through. Do. Holy wow. All right. A little plink plink action will teach the birds a lesson. Yes, it will. Still progress. Bought a new 3-wheeler. Cool, Dutch. Check out the chicks at the family farm and ranch the other day. Yeah. Yep. Justin went cruising for chicks. He was trying to pick them up too, and they're like, no, you can't pick up the chicks. He's like, but I want to pick up chicks. That's what I'm supposed to do, man. Actually, when he walks through the farm store, the chicks just fly to him and stick to him because he's a total chick magnet. I sweated a lot. Does that count? Yeah, I guess. Hey, Max. He's he's a single. Wife and kids are not happy. I use the grass clippings to fill in low spots in the yard. Okay. Grattan Raceway. Yeah, I forgot about Grattan and also Gingerman. Yeah, good hey, Grease Spot. Yeah, Grattan and Galesburg. Or Grattan and Gingerman. I forgot about that for the road course. Yeah, Galesburg. I haven't been in Galesburg in a really long time. I'm almost caught up. Yay, I'm caught up. Sorry if I glossed over anyone. I had to catch up. Yeah, it sucks because when the chat dies, I'm like, what do I talk about? Talk about something. But I like it a lot better when I'm interacting with everyone. It's been a nice weekend. I hope you guys are all having a nice weekend also. Larger items can be dropped from a second story window. Oh, Cousin Magic Mike, what's going on? Yeah, there's a lot of good racetracks around here. Like literally I could, how it all depends on how far do you want to drive. That's the only limit to the racetracks, how far you want to go. If I want to drive all the way out to Brooklyn, Michigan, I can go to MIS, Michigan International Speedway, and that's where they race NASCAR, like the Brickyard and all that fun stuff. Yeah. And then I think it's coming up real soon, or it's already happened. There's Onaway, which is damn near to the bridge. Our trusty Michigan map, it's way up here in Presque Isle County. the last county. It's like that kind of a shape. And then Onaway, they race semi trucks. Danster knows exactly what I'm talking about, but they actually race semi trucks, and they do drag racing with no trailers, just straight up heads up drag racing, first man across the stripe, and that's pretty cool. And then yeah, he's probably Onaway's already done, but I want to go check that out too. And then those guys will run trailers, flatbed trailers. Yeah, they also drag race flatbed trailers loaded with lumber, and it's like 300 feet going up a little grade. And yeah, it's international. So the announcer's really cool because he does everything bilingually. So he'll say it in English, and then he'll say it in French. So, and they play the national anthem, and then they play the Canadian national anthem. Put everything back right. Yeah, it's because I'm running off the front of my phone. So if I flip the camera around, then everything reads right, but then I don't have you as the chat. 76-inch TV. Hi, Dutch. Ah! So went to 6% Recycled's house on Sunday, which was really good. And 6% had me go get a Burger King sign, which actually it's that big white thing right there. It's a vinyl Burger King sign. Like they were taking, like the sign got busted and they ain't going to have a new one for 4 or 5 weeks. So it's a tarp with the Burger King logo printed on it. And then it has black backing where the light isn't. And then it hung up there so it could light up. So it's a temporary Burger King sign. So my friend found it on Marketplace for $20, and it's probably about 10 minutes away from 20 minutes away. So I went and got it for him. And then I forgot it when I went to go see him. Is Scott going to be home with the Whopper? For all we know, does he probably already is. I don't want to know. Some bonehead truckers. Yeah, real truck. You would not believe how many sandal wearing truckers I get in on a daily basis. You know, it really bothers me where a professional driver has went. When I was a kid, most professional drivers were well dressed. There was always slobs. There was always a slob driver, but most drivers cared about their outward appearance. And larger company drivers would be dressed well. A friend of the family, his name was Mike. When he went to work, he worked for a grocery distribution center. And when he went to work, he looked like he popped off of the pages of the employee handbook. And not only was he well dressed, but he was a military man. Him and his wife both, as a matter of fact, they met. They worked together in a mental hospital. They had the keys. They always made the joke, but they both had military backgrounds. She was a military nurse, and he was I forget what branch he was in. I think he was a Marine, but they met. So he would leave home and everything had to be ironed by his wife. So, I mean, when he walked out the door, he was crisp. As a matter of fact, he was so well dressed that usually, and also when he became the old guy, when they needed a load done with finesse and they wanted to show their best image, they'd have Mike take it because he just had that level of Just everything was perfect. Corporate loved them. But what happened? What happened to a driver? You always had, like, I remember drivers that we used to call pretty boy truckers. You've seen them. You know, they smell good, hair's always combed, they're dressed well, you know, they're flashy guys. And you got other guys, they're clean, but they're country boys, they wear bibs and stuff, but it's, you've got a standard. Now it's hoodies and basketball shorts and sandals and no socks and just what happened to the professional driver? I've been around truck drivers my entire life. And yeah, there was a time in this world when you got into a pickle, you go find a trucker, he'll help you. They used to be called the white knights of the road. Some of the best people out there were truck drivers. They'd help you. Now, it doesn't happen anymore. CB. Used to be able to go down the road and talk on the CB. And guys coming the other way would tell you about that big accident on the interchange. Or that there's a cop hidden on exit whatever, shooting people in the butt with a radar. Or whatever. You don't get that. So now we get even worse traffic jams because guys with CBs ain't getting, radios are quiet these days. Very rarely is someone on them anymore. Things have changed. It's too bad. It's really too bad. Couldn't be Walmart greeters. Yeah, and it's language barrier's huge too. Language barrier is really huge. And just it's there are sometimes we have had truckers that literally their first trip out and they came to our facility and he never backed up a trailer to a door before until he came to our shop. It took him forever. Poor guy. Well, I can understand a trucker wearing flip-flops at the truck stop because most truckers wear flip-flops as shower shoes. So you get a pass if you're wearing flip-flops at the truck stop because you're probably waiting for your shower when your shower comes up. And so that I can see, but because I might be guilty of that at the truck stop. The rest of the time, I'd wear boots. I'd actually dress like a respectable person. You represent a company, I guess. I don't know. I'm just raised different, I guess. Besides, isn't there something nice about being in uniform and looking nice? I mean, some truckers come in and I don't know if they're looking for a couple bucks, if they just stood on the corner and put a sign in their hands, they'd get money. That's what they look like. We get this one old boy. He drives for this certain trucking company, and he's just a good old boy from southern Missouri, and just a great salt of the earth guy. And yeah, just wonder, you get those, a lot of pain in the butt truckers, but every so often you get that one driver, a couple few drivers in that are just like, boy, you make up for a lot of these pain in the butts. I've worn a uniform or three. I'll be avoiding those showers and Old Spice in it. Crocs fit. It is my uniform. So everyone on your crew is dressed the same way, right? Unfinished. I went 2 weeks without a shower and I moved back to my house. Ain't no big deal if you rock deodorant. Mm, I'll tell you what. I need to stay. Dougster needs to stay clean. Yes, that is important. It is now acceptable to go out in public in your pajamas. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, no. Once again, do you get a free pass? Because I mean, Colleen, you need like three items, and all you're gonna do is jump in your car and drive to the Dollar General, which is 2.1 miles away from the house, and you're in your jammies. Woohoo, right? So you kind of get a free pass. But yeah, like in your jammies, never changed out of your jammies, and now you're running around for the whole day in your jammies. No, I would never. Yeah, I'd never wear my jammies in public. Besides, having Superman pajamas custom made in my size is hard, and I'm not going to risk damaging them. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't owned pajamas in decades. Or you could just be that really friendly, chill, naked person. Just roll up, absolutely nude. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll take two of those, please. Something wrong? Lady Duckster says hi. Careful, they can hear you. You probably hear my dog barking at nothing. It's funny. She's a real scaredy cat, but she's got an authoritative bark. I'm going to tear you up right after I pee all over the place. Oh, Colleen waved at you. Be right back. I'm going to take care of my empty. All right. Chris, what's happening? Wouldn't go to a Mexican prison in pajamas, right? You never know. They might be like, hey, I like your BJs. Junkyard D, what's going on, man? The my 413, once we got it all pulled out of the Trafco motorhome, one of the exhaust manifolds was busted. Cracked just like that one you've got. And at first I noticed it and it was just a hairline crack. Okay, no big deal. So we test chooched it before I tore it out of the chassis. And we didn't run it that long, and as the heat got to it, that crack got really wide, and you're seeing the fire travel down. You're like, oh, cool. Yeah, you're done. That transmission that was in it is the short tail shaft one. and the fluid in it was blacker than the ace of spades and stunk like burned, but it still worked. It was sitting there running as we were test ripping the engine, so that was impressive. Cracked all the way around. Dang.
Oh, the Boston Tea Party's in the yard.
Oh, the neighbor's dogs. Okay, that's why she's losing her mind. The neighbor's dog's out. They're a bunch of little Boston Terriers. And so Lady Dougster likes to refer to them as the Boston Pea Party because they're usually out to go potty. It's crazy. She's
That's Minnie in our backyard barking. My dog. Yeah, she's right there.
Oh yeah, so now I don't know if you guys can hear, but yeah, now they're standing at our back slider antagonizing my dog. Yeah, isn't that great? They come visit us. And there's like 5 of them. It's interesting. You play fetch with them. Hey, Justin, you play fetch with them, and you throw the ball, and all 5 of them run for it. And I've actually seen a 5-way tug of war for a ball, where one will have the ball, one will put his mouth on a piece of it, one will put, and they're all together, all 4 or 5 of them are tug of warring for this ball, and they're running at the same time. So you see this whole thing, they're turning and running. It's amazing. It's actually pretty funny. Well, they probably do, but at least they're small dogs, so it's. Oh, Yorkie Terriers do that with rats. Yep. We'll tug them. Wow. Gonna sneeze. Am I?
Pineapple.
Pineapple? Okay, false alarm.
It went away, didn't it?
Yeah, it went away. It was already diminishing before you said pineapple. I was like, "This sneeze." She's like, "Pineapple." Yeah, it's interesting when you watch a dog do what it wants to do instinctively. Like our dogs are herding dogs, red heelers and blue heelers. So you get them around cattle or sheep or anything, and they want to heel them. So if this is the hoof and that heel, they want to nip them on there like Achilles' heel. And it's funny to watch them kick in, their instincts kick in, and literally they'll have a look in their eyes like, I don't know why I'm doing it, but here it goes. And healers are fearless. Our dog is a big chicken. I don't think she'd go out and herd anything because she's a big scaredy cat. But yeah, my healers and red and blue of the past, oh yeah, my red healer Patch, he would have been all over it. Yeah, it's funny because Ruby's all, "Ooh, I'm tough. Listen to me." And then, in all reality, she's more scared than you are. Well, I mean, I remember us throwing the ball in the pond for my blue healer I had. His name was Wrangler. And I'd throw the ball for Wrangler. And then guy Ben, he came over with his dog Kramer. and Kramer was a big old black lab. And so we're throwing the ball in the pond, and they both go for it. And it was funny because my dog is trying every little iota that he had, he was putting into it, trying to get to the ball first. And he had no, he's up against he's the wrong dog for the job. And yeah, you should have seen Kramer with his web feet and big old paws. His tail made him look like a ship with a rudder. Right over to the ball he'd go. Wrangler would be working as hard as he could. Got to the point where we stopped because Wrangler was getting mad. Silly dog. What's really crazy is the Dachshunds. That they were the little wiener dogs. They were bred to hunt badgers down in their holes. You want to talk about a rough and tumble little animal. That's amazing. I wouldn't want to go after a badger. Wolverines are bad enough. Badgers are bad mamma jammas themselves. Badgers? We don't need no stinking badgers. Sorry. Been a little stuffy. Springtime and allergies. Badgers will tear up anything. Yeah. A Wolverine can beat a badger, but the badger is putting in a pretty good fight. It's not like he's just gonna be like, out of my way. No. He's like, you want it? Come and get it. And besides, we're the Wolverine state. Work week coming fast. That's right. Good having you anyway here, Don. Welcome. Glad to see. Hey, Don, got me a 727. So we'll see if it's going to be usable or not here soon. Got a 3-inch deep pan for it, and going to get an order put into Mr. Cope for a few pieces and parts, and throw myself together a budget automatic just to make the truck mobile. Hopefully. Gonna pull the transmission pan off. 6% recycled. I got it from him. He pulled the pan, and the fluid looked okay, but I don't think he ever looked at the guts. So I'm gonna get the pan off here real soon and see what the inside looks like. And hopefully it ain't all rusted up, because the bell housing is actually, you can't tell, but the bell housing is, well, wait a minute. Ooh, it was a dark and stormy night. Dougster was on the prowl. Can it work? Will it work? Yeah. See all the corrosion in there? I'm not crazy about that. Oh, that's way better. So I want to get the pan off of it and see. Yeah, 6% got that. It was out of a Plymouth, it's like a 68 Plymouth Fury VIP. And it was 383 automatic car. And he got the whole front end, the frame rails, the steering, the K-member, exhaust, everything. From like probably midway across the floor pan forward. And the engine was just Titanic rusty. Yep, long tail. I have a Wear it with honor. That's right. I have a short tail. I have another big block. I have a big block short tail, and I have another big block long tail besides this one over my shoulder. This one might work. That's the only reason why that I'm going to use that one, because the other one says right on it builder. So that means it's DOA. So yeah, if anything, I can tear apart the short shaft and put the long shaft in it, but you got to take everything out to change the shaft, and then put it all back together, and then put the long tail shaft housing on it and run it. So this will be the first time, like, other than changing like transmission fluid and doing band adjustments, that's all I've ever gotten to do with Mopar automatics. So this should be interesting for me. Short tail came out of the RV I got the motor from. Funny. I was so excited when I first got it that for whatever reason, because I thought that I was going to want to use the short tail shaft automatic. So I painted the that drum on the end of it bright red. Why I did that, I don't know, but sure looks good for something I'm never going to use. Can a long shaft 727 be put on a 904 short shaft? I don't know. That question would be better directed to Cope or to John Wilburn. I have no idea. I'm actually just applying my 727 knowledge from what I've gleaned off of here on the Ubity Tubities. I know nothing about these things, but I'm soon going to learn, because I plan to build, when I build my big Chuchin automatic, which is going to be a lockup 727, I plan to build it myself, because why not? Oh, and changing speedo gears. That's the other thing I've done with Mopar automatics. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to be taking my first valve body out. I'm going to be putting a shift kit in. I've never done that before. So that'll be interesting. And then, yeah, eventually I'll be going through my whole auto magic. Yeah, and I don't have a 904 here to go look at. Oh, we got bugs. All right. Got to close the garage door. As is tradition, I'm going to mute the mic so you don't have to listen to my old garage door opener. But you'll see it budge a few times before it finally takes off. It's always good for that. And true to form, that one, what was it, like 5 times before it finally took off? Very rarely will you hit the button and it takes off. At least it opens first try. It always gives you fits when it closes. Yeah, 5 times. It just started. Is the spring too tight? Yeah, 5 times. We had to replace the garage door. The other one it would jam up in the tracks and it just destroyed itself. So we ended up putting a new garage door in, and then since then yeah. I hate garage door springs. I hate garage door springs. Oh, the 999. Yeah. You should have seen one day I'm getting ready for work and I go to leave. Or no, it was I'm getting ready for work and I come out because every night the Valkyrie gets put in the garage. She never sleeps outside. And open up the garage door, push out my light up my bike, like get her start warming up, and it's like I need to get going. And that's when this whole garage door thing started happening. Here I am, time's of the essence. I need to be leaving, and the door doesn't want to close. The door doesn't want to close. The door doesn't want to close. Oh, to the point where I finally just said, screw it. And I hit the emergency switch and closed the door and went to work. And I said, I'll deal with it later. And yeah. So every so often she always shuts, but now it just gives you fits until it finally takes off. And it doesn't help that thing is older. I think Jesus was still plant manager at the factory when they built it. See how the door rolls on its own? The door rolls just fine on its own. Yeah, I'll have to do something. Yeah, I don't know if it's something to do with the door or if I just got an opener that's ancient. Yeah, 5 times. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. It's an old, what is it? I think it's a Wayne Dalton. Maybe the old door messed up the opener. That is very possible, Danster. That is very possible. Yeah, because the old opener, or the old door, it wasn't going smoothly in the tracks anymore and was binding up. And then where the armature comes and actually meets the door there, it actually had folded and buckled in the door piece, and I tried to temporarily fix it. I pounded it all out and I screwed 2x4s into it just basically to make sure the garage was secure until I could replace it, and spent a whole day pushing all the panels back and reinforcing everything, and I was all proud of my job and got the door opener to engage. It lasted 48 hours, 50 hours. It didn't take long. And it broke worse the second time with the reinforcements and everything than the original. So yeah, let's go to the big box store and get a door. That is very possible. So maybe I should just treat it like, maybe I should just, as long as it shuts, it's all I care about. But yeah, 5 times. Nothing but the best here at the Wolverine Garage. It's very possible. I've got a remote control that I need to program to it. No, we got a remote. Do you still have the remote control to the garage door?
Yeah.
Where is it?
In the truck.
Oh, it's in the truck? Okay. Never mind. We still got it. Thought we lost it. Oh, I have another one I can sync up to it. Yeah. It's got the old number switch thing. Lady Dougster's leaving for work. You can hear the probably hear the Camry warming up as we speak. Great little car. And she's off. She hit a raccoon with it years ago when we first got it, and that folded one of the under panel pieces back, and it scraped on the ground and rubbed against a tire. And luckily, I was able to get it shoved back in. Everything goes in with those Christmas tree clips, and man, those things never. If they don't come out nice, they definitely don't go back in nice. Then again, those Christmas tree clips are pretty inexpensive, but still. Well, when we first had it, you take it out, and the windshield washer squirter isn't working on only the passenger side. And what's going on? So let's look. Open the hood up, hit the squirter, and now it's leaking out of the hood onto the windshield. Oh, okay. The hose come unplugged, or the nozzle's plugged. Pull the padding back, found it, trimmed off the old, just in case that end of that hose was bad, trimmed it off, slid it all together, put it all back together. Now try. It works. And she goes, "How do you know to work on this?" And I said, "It's just a car. And if you know how the little fastener things," because it had those stupid buttons that you pull the little center section out, and then you take the whole little reusable plastic rivet with it, and they're okay. You got to use them just right, or they're not going to work at all. Do 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 do. Dog's still sounding off for one reason or another. She'll bark at anything. It's kind of funny. She barks at me. I walk through the house, and Lady Dougster's, especially if Lady Dougster's sleeping, she'll bark at me anytime I go near her. And I'm her dad. And it's always the same. Like, I come home from work, and Lady Dougster will be sleeping, and Ruby will come to me, bark, 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 bark. Sounds like she's gonna tear my leg off. And then her hair's standing up on her backside, and then she right up to me, and then she's all happy to see me. But every time she walks up to me, she acts like she's gonna kill me. Okay. We have an automatic ball thrower that we brought out for her on Saturday, and it plugs into extension cord, and you load it in the top, and it's got a sensor, so it knows if you're too close, it won't throw. And so she's got to back up to a certain distance away, and it'll finally throw it. My God, it is amazing how long she will play with that thing. It's really cool. It was just some cheap unit off of Amazon. Well worth it. Our dog has so much fun with it.